All right, great. Well, I'm so excited to talk to you. The Independence is so good. I'm so glad I kind of watched this movie kind of blind. All I know is okay, it's about band people, music. Okay, I'll watch it. And about you and these two other solo artists who kind of cross paths, and then all of a sudden you kind of form this music group and this crazy journey across the country.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you're actually in the band and the other two members are actually in the band. So
Well, that's awesome. So you didn't know that until after the movie was
no,
over?
I was gonna say, wow, they got these actors who really learn music instruments and sing and sync up. I mean, and I really thought you guys were like veteran actors. It was so good. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'll share that with the guys. They'll be thrilled.
yeah, so you wrote and direct this. So I assume this is like some backstory about how you guys formed for your band, the Sweet what was
Sweet
Sweet
Remains.
Remains. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean the whole journey of these guys, I think of it as sort of like the fable esque telling of our real life story. There's a lot of exaggerated stuff, and there's a lot of moments that are sort of distilled or amalgamated into one event in the movie. But yeah, a lot of this stuff happens or has happened to us, and is part of our story, and that's kind of what inspired the whole movie.
Okay. Did you have like a real van like that in the movie or
Yeah, the van in reality wasn't quite as down and out as that van is. Uh, the van in reality was called White Chocolate, because it was a big white, similar custom van like that, in the early days that Rich had purchased and eventually sold off as it was falling apart. But we actually had to. That was one of the hardest casting bits in the movie, was finding that van and then keeping it rolling. I think we spent like $10,000 or $12,000 keeping that van moving through the production. It was like a huge line item because it would break down. And
like a real touring band for band?
I mean, I made a stupid choice. Like, I was looking for this van everywhere. My line producer was helping me try to find it, and then we just found it like on a lawn somewhere in Long Island on an online sale thing. And I drove out there, and the guy's like, "I want $900 for this thing." I don't think it even ran, and I was like, "$900? That's a bargain." But it was stupidly not thinking about, we have to keep this thing running through the whole thing. We got to get it across the country to Los Angeles. Anyway, yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I related a lot to the very beginning of the movie because I used to play drums in like high school and college, but once I started like living in apartments, it was like, even just practicing on a little pad, you'd be the pounding on it. So
Yeah,
the
exactly.
neighbors and stuff. So was there any moments like that where you lived and where like people were like pounding, like, hey, keep it
Totally,
down energy?
totally, always. Because Rich and I both lived in New York City
Mm.
when we met, and that all of that is just, anyone who's lived in a city, but certainly in New York City, and was trying to be an artist, knows that you're going to get yelled at, and people are going to bang on the walls to tell you to shut up all the time.
Yeah. Um, there's one part where you stay at like an inn that had like open mic night and they were like performing. Was that like a real place that's you've been to or stayed at?
That inn, it's called the
Yeah.
Goshen Inn. No, that's not a real place, but it's, we've been so many places like that and so many evenings like that
Of course.
over the years, that was sort of a extension of experiences and hootenannies that have spontaneously happened after shows and in
Uh-huh.
various weird locations.
Very
Um,
cool.
yeah.
I mean, I actually checked out the Sweet Remains like on Apple Music afterwards and stuff. So how long have you guys been around? I mean, because you do a lot of other stuff besides this band, movies and I guess some Broadway stuff too, right?
Well, I started out acting.
Okay.
So I've done a bunch of acting, but I kind of really left all that behind when we started doing music full time.
Oh,
And the
cool.
band back in 2007 really is when we met. And when I still occasionally, like, I have friends and people who will call me to play certain roles, like, every once in a while in something. But I don't actively pursue being an actor. It just,
Mhm.
if they need somebody who maybe plays the guitar and sings to do some small part in something, they might think of me, and so I'll show up there.
Well, the music is amazing in the movie. So it comes out February 26th on VOD. So you can go to theindependencefilm.com for more information. Thank you so much, man, for taking your time to talk to me.
My pleasure.
All
Pleasure
right, man.
talking to you. Thank you.